This money is mine and I want it back. Or you'll end up like the others. The man standing at Jessica's door had brought something more dangerous than the $500 million lottery jackpot, her past. This story begins in Denver, Colorado. Jessica Miller, 29, worked as a modest accountant. Every week she bought the same lottery ticket from the same store, playing the same numbers, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. These numbers were a combination of her grandfather's birth and death dates. She'd followed the same routine for 3 years. Every Tuesday after work, she'd buy a ticket from Riverside Market and keep it in the secret compartment of her wallet. There was nothing exciting in Jessica's life. She lived alone in her small apartment with her cat, Whiskers. But this Tuesday was different. Jessica went to the store as usual, but Adam Thompson, the familiar cashier, wasn't there. Instead, a young man named Jason Rodriguez was working. "Can I get a lottery ticket?" Jessica said, extending her $20. Jason gave her a ticket, but the ticket machine was broken. "Sorry, the machine isn't working. But we have pre-printed tickets here, you can pick one." Jessica randomly drew a ticket from the box. She didn't even look at the numbers, it had become a habit. That evening at home, while eating dinner, she watched the lottery drawing on TV. This week's winning numbers are 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. Jessica nearly choked. Those were her numbers. But when she checked her ticket, she was shocked. The numbers on the ticket were different: 3, 17, 22, 31, 38, 45. But the announcer continued, "And the bonus ball, 12. This week's grand prize is $500 million. Jessica looked at her ticket again. 3, 17, 22, 31, 38, 45, and bonus, 12. She had won $500 million. But what Jessica didn't know was that this ticket was one of the tickets stolen 6 months earlier. And the real owner, Marcus "Scar" Rodriguez, one of Denver's most dangerous criminals, had found her. Bell, if you love stories full of money, mystery, and survival, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Can you guess how Jessica will solve this $500 million curse? What could be the real story behind this money? Share your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like this video, it really helps us bring you more thrilling stories like this. Moneybag slot machine. Jessica trembled as she held the ticket. $500 million. Her entire life would change. She wouldn't have to live in that small apartment anymore, could quit her boring accounting job. The next morning she immediately called the lottery center. "Colorado Lottery Center, how can I help you?" I won last night's grand prize." "Congratulations. Could you please provide your name and ticket number?" Jessica gave the information. The woman on the phone was silent for a while. "Ms. Miller, you need to come to our center to validate your ticket. You have an appointment tomorrow at 10 a.m. Jessica couldn't sleep. $500 million. She had no family, no close friends. Who would she share this money with? The next day she went to the lottery center. Security guards took her to a private room. Dr. Patricia Williams, the lottery director, greeted Jessica. "Ms. Miller, this really is a huge win. But there are some question marks about your ticket." Jessica's heart stopped. "What do you mean?" "This ticket is among those stolen from Riverside Market last week. 50 tickets went missing after a store robbery. But I bought that ticket legally." Dr. Williams opened the file. "The problem is, store owner Adam Thompson wasn't at the register that day. We don't know who the temporary worker Jason Rodriguez was. He disappeared that evening." Jessica's world was collapsing. Her dream was turning into a nightmare. "So what happens now?" "We'll start the legal process. But don't worry, if you legally possess the ticket, the money is yours. When Jessica returned home, she found an envelope at her door. Inside was a photograph, Jessica's image from the lottery center. And writing on the back, "This money is mine. Return it within 48 hours or you'll regret it." Jessica decided to call the police. 911, what's your emergency? I've been threatened. It's about my lottery ticket. Detective Mike Anderson came to Jessica's house. He was a middle-aged, experienced-looking cop. "Ms. Miller, this threat letter should be taken seriously. But there's something I need to tell you." "What?" The Riverside Market robbery wasn't an ordinary theft. It was Marcus Rodriguez's work. He placed his brother Jason Rodriguez in the store to steal the tickets. Jessica's blood ran cold. So Jason is Marcus's brother. And Marcus is one of Denver's most dangerous criminals. He has 8 murder charges on record. But I'm an innocent citizen. I bought the ticket legally. I know. But Marcus doesn't care about that. He thinks that money belongs to him. Detective Anderson provided Jessica with protection. But that night, the windows of Jessica's apartment were broken. Written on her wall, "Last warning." Jessica was no longer safe in her home. Detective Anderson suggested a safe house, but Jessica refused. Instead, she decided to escape to her mother Mary Miller's old house in the countryside. But she noticed she was being followed while leaving. A black SUV was tailing her. Jessica sped up, but the SUV sped up too. A dangerous chase began on the mountain roads. Jessica's car was an old Honda Civic, no match for the SUV. But she knew these mountain roads very well. She'd grown up here as a child. On a sharp turn, the SUV lost control and went off the road. Jessica stopped and looked. The SUV had overturned, but the driver was alive. The man got out of the SUV. Tall, dark-skinned, with a large scar on his face. "Marcus Scar Rodriguez. Jessica Miller," he shouted. "This isn't over." Jessica fled. When Jessica arrived at her mother's old house, she thought she was safe. The house was 2 hours from Denver, in a forested area. Her mother had died 5 years ago, and the house stood empty. But Jessica was wrong. Marcus's organization was very large. That night, while Jessica was watching the news on TV, she was shocked. Lottery ticket fraud case in Denver. A woman named Jessica Miller is trying to win $500 million with stolen tickets. She's wanted by police. This was a lie. They were portraying Jessica as guilty. Her phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello. Jessica, this is Marcus. Did you see the news?" How can you make me look guilty?" "Because you are guilty. That money is mine. And now the whole world knows you're a thief." "I didn't steal anything." "Prove it." The line went dead. While Jessica tried to understand the situation, she researched online. The information she found about Marcus Rodriguez was horrifying. Marcus was the leader of a major crime organization based in Denver. Drug trafficking, gun smuggling, extortion. And most importantly, he was a lottery fraud specialist. 6 months ago, Marcus had obtained inside information about the lottery system. He'd learned in advance which numbers would come up. He'd placed his brother Jason in the store and had the winning ticket stolen. The plan was, use one of the tickets to collect the money on drawing night. But Jessica accidentally picking up that ticket had ruined everything. Now Marcus wanted both his money and Jessica. Because Jessica was the only witness. Jessica tried to call Detective Anderson, but his phone didn't answer. She got worried. Then she saw it on the news. Detective Mike Anderson from Denver Police Department found dead in his home. The cause of the murder is unknown. Jessica realized in panic. Marcus had killed the cop who was protecting her. She had no one left. She couldn't trust the police. Marcus might have insiders in the force. That night, while alone at home, she heard glass breaking. Someone was trying to get in. Jessica escaped through the back door and ran toward the forest. 2 people were chasing her. Jessica! You can't escape. We know this forest very well, shouted a voice that sounded like Marcus. Jessica used the secret trail she'd known since childhood to escape. But she knew this was just buying time. While running through the forest, Jessica saw her old friend Tom Bradley's cabin. Tom was Jessica's high school friend. He now worked as a forest ranger. She knocked on the door. Jessica? Is that you? You look like you've been running for hours. Tom, I'm in big trouble. Can you help me? Tom let her in. Jessica told him everything, the lottery, Marcus, the death threats. Jessica, this is very serious. We should call the FBI. I don't know who to trust. The cop who was protecting me was killed. Tom thought. Okay, I'll help you. But first we need to learn more about who this Marcus is. They researched on Tom's computer. Marcus Rodriguez's file was horrifying. In the last 2 years, he'd committed 12 lottery frauds. His system. Get inside information, steal winning tickets, then kill the original owners. Jessica was going to be Marcus's 13th victim. Tom suggested a plan. Jessica, Marcus will come because he wants you. We'll lure him here and trap him. How? You call Marcus and suggest a meeting. Tell him you'll give him the money. But we'll be waiting for him here. Jessica hesitated. What if the plan doesn't work? It will work. But first we need to notify the FBI. Tom called an old friend at the FBI. Agent Sarah Chen. Sarah, there's a major lottery fraud in Denver. Marcus Rodriguez is involved. An innocent woman named Jessica Miller is in danger. Tom, we've been hunting Marcus Rodriguez for years. If we can catch him. We're meeting in the forest tomorrow night. Be ready. The next night, Jessica called Marcus to suggest a meeting. Marcus, I'll give you half the money. $250 million. In return, leave me alone. All the money is mine, Jessica. But let's meet. Maybe we can make a deal. Marcus came to the forest cabin with 2 men. But the FBI was also ready. Marcus Rodriguez. FBI. Put your hands up. Shots were fired. Marcus's men fought against the FBI. Tom was shot while trying to protect Jessica. Tom. Jessica ran to her friend. Jessica, run. Marcus is coming. Marcus used the confusion as an opportunity to approach Jessica. This ends here, Jessica. Marcus pointed his gun at Jessica. But Jessica was prepared. Tom had given her a pistol. Marcus, stop. I just accidentally got that ticket. There's no such thing as accidents. You stole my money. That money was already stolen. You had stolen it. Marcus fired but missed. Jessica also fired. Marcus was wounded but still standing. This isn't over. Agent Sarah Chen intervened at that moment. Marcus Rodriguez, you're under arrest. Marcus made one last move. He attacked Jessica, but the FBI stopped him. After Marcus was captured, the FBI investigation began. The real story was much more complex. Marcus had worked for 2 years to infiltrate the lottery system. He had insiders at the Colorado Lottery Center. Dr. Patricia Williams was working with Marcus. The system was, Dr. Williams would inform Marcus of the winning numbers before the drawing. Marcus would buy tickets with these numbers, then after the drawing, he'd make up a fake, stolen ticket, story. Jessica getting the ticket was a coincidence. But Marcus had tried to use this as an opportunity to blame Jessica. So I'm really innocent? Jessica asked. Completely innocent, said Agent Chen. You were just a very unlucky victim. After Marcus and Dr. Williams were arrested, it was confirmed that Jessica's $500 million was legal. But Jessica no longer knew what to do with this money. Tom was recovering in the hospital. Jessica visited him. "Tom, you saved my life. You saved mine too. This adventure taught us both a lot." "I don't know what to do with the money." Tom smiled. "Jessica, that money now belongs to you. But remember, money itself isn't good or bad. What matters is how you use it." Jessica donated part of the $500 million to charity. Especially to organizations helping crime victims. She also made a large donation to Detective Anderson's family. She covered Tom's medical expenses. For herself, she bought a modest but beautiful house. She no longer had to work in accounting, but she didn't quit entirely. She started her own accounting firm. Most importantly, Jessica was no longer alone. After Tom recovered, their relationship became romantic. 6 months later, Jessica had settled into her new life. But one day she found a strange package in the mail. Inside was a DVD. And a note, "The game isn't over." When she played the DVD, she saw Marcus. A video message recorded from prison. "Jessica, you think you caught me. But I was just a small part of the organization." Jessica's heart raced. The real leader is still out there. And he wants the money much more than I did. Now he wants you too. The video cut off. That night, Jessica's house began being watched. Jessica immediately called Agent Chen. "Sarah, Marcus sent a message from prison. There are other members of the organization." "Jessica, this is possible. Marcus Rodriguez was part of a large organization. We only caught the tip. So what happens now?" "We'll put you under protection. And investigate the rest of the organization." But that night, Jessica's house was attacked. Windows were broken, walls filled with graffiti. "The money is ours. You are ours." Tom took Jessica to his house. "Jessica, this might be Marcus's final game. He's trying to scare you." But Jessica's fears were justified. In the FBI investigation, the leader of Marcus's organization was revealed, Vincent, the calculator, Morrison. Denver's biggest financial crime specialist. Vincent had committed $2 billion in financial crimes over the last 10 years. Lottery fraud was just a small part of his business. And Jessica's $500 million was part of Vincent's bigger plan. Agent Chen explained the truth to Jessica. "Jessica, Vincent doesn't just want the money back. He's planning to kill you and use your identity to transfer all the money to offshore accounts." "But how is that possible? Vincent is an expert in identity theft. He'll make your death look like an accident, then steal the money using your identity." Jessica's world was collapsing. The $500 million wasn't a blessing, it was a death warrant. Agent Chen and the FBI team made a new plan for Jessica. "Jessica, we're going to use you as bait to trap Vincent. This is very dangerous." "I know. But this is the only way to catch Vincent. You'll call him for a meeting, say you'll give him the money." Tom also joined the plan. "Jessica, I won't leave you alone." The plan was, Jessica would call Vincent to meet at a neutral location. The FBI would ambush. They'd arrest Vincent. But Vincent was much smarter than Jessica. When Vincent called Jessica, there was cold confidence in his voice. "Jessica Miller. Finally we can talk. Vincent, I'll give you half the money. In return, leave me alone." "Jessica, you're misunderstanding the situation. I want all the money. And I want you too." "What do you mean? You're now my property." "That money was mine, you stole it. Now you have to pay your debt." Jessica's fears were coming true. "Tomorrow night at 11 p.m., we'll meet at Riverside Park. You'll come alone." Don't bring FBI or anything because there will be other innocents there. The line went dead. The next night, Jessica went to Riverside Park. The FBI team had secretly taken positions. But Vincent was much smarter. There were 20 innocent civilians in the park. Families, couples, children. Vincent had blended in among them. When he saw Jessica, he approached. Jessica, very smart. You brought the FBI. How do you know? Because I have insiders in the FBI too. Agent Chen's every move is reported to me. Jessica's heart stopped. Vincent was right. Now you're coming with me. Or the innocents here will die. Vincent showed a trigger from his pocket. He'd planted bombs in the park. Jessica was helpless. As Vincent was taking Jessica out of the park, Tom intervened. Vincent Morrison. Stop. Tom Bradley. Jessica's boyfriend. How romantic. Vincent pointed his gun at Tom. Jessica, time to choose. Either come with me or Tom dies. Jessica faced the most difficult decision. Vincent, I'll come. But you won't harm Tom and the people in the park. Of course. I keep my word. But Vincent was lying. As soon as he put Jessica in his car, he pulled the trigger. Tom saw Vincent pull the trigger and immediately warned Agent Chen. Sarah. Vincent pulled the bomb trigger. Everyone get away from the park. Bomb squad is coming. The FBI bomb squad began evacuating the park. But they were running out of time. Tom was getting the last civilian out of the park when the bomb exploded. Tom fell to the ground from the force of the explosion but was alive. We need to find Jessica, he shouted. Vincent had taken Jessica to an old factory outside Denver. Jessica, we're going to do our final transaction here. What transaction? You're going to die, I'm going to live with your identity. Vincent had stolen Jessica's identification documents. He'd also brought a plastic surgeon. Your face will be taken and placed on mine. I'll become Jessica Miller. The horror of this plan paralyzed Jessica. But at that moment, the FBI surrounded the factory. Tom had joined the operation despite being injured. Vincent Morrison. FBI. Surrender. Vincent used Jessica as a hostage. Back off. Or Jessica dies. But Jessica was no longer a passive victim. 6 months of trauma had made her stronger. While Vincent was focused on the FBI, Jessica pushed him and knocked his gun down. Enough, Vincent. This money's curse ends here. Vincent tried to get his gun, but Tom intervened. A struggle began between the two men. At the last moment, Agent Chen intervened and shot Vincent. Vincent Morrison, you're under arrest. After Vincent was arrested, the entire organization collapsed. The FBI began solving the $2 billion financial crime network. Jessica's $500 million was now truly safe. While Tom was being treated in the hospital, Jessica visited him. Tom, this adventure is over. Yes, Jessica. But you're not the same as before. What do you mean? You've become a strong woman. No longer a victim, but a fighter. Jessica smiled. Tom was right. 6 months later, Jessica and Tom got married. They had a modest but beautiful wedding. Jessica continued donating most of her money to charity. Especially to organizations helping crime victims. She also started a program called Safe Lottery. She provided security consulting for lottery winners. Money isn't good or bad, she would tell her clients. What matters is how you use it and who you protect it from. 2 years later, Jessica, Tom, and their baby Emma were living a happy life. One day, finding her old lottery ticket, Jessica showed it to Tom. This is the ticket that started everything. Do you regret it? Tom asked. Jessica thought. No. This ticket didn't just bring me money. It also taught me how to be strong, how to defend myself, and what real friendship means. And it found me too, said Tom, smiling. Most importantly. That evening, Jessica was filming a security video for lottery winners on her YouTube channel. Friends, today I'm going to tell you what to watch out for when you win the lottery. First rule, if you have winnings that nobody knows about, don't immediately tell everyone. Malicious people might target you. Second rule, don't use large winnings all at once, use them gradually. Third rule, surround yourself with people you trust. Money separates real friends from fake ones. And the most important rule, don't let money change you, you change the money. Use it for good. As Jessica's security consulting business grew, she encountered new cases. One day her phone rang. Is this Jessica Miller? This is Robert Chen. I have a big problem too. How can I help? 2 weeks ago I won a $50 million lottery. But now my wife has disappeared. And I received a ransom note. Jessica's old traumas returned. The lottery curse had found someone else. Mr. Chen, let's meet immediately. There are ways to deal with this situation. Jessica was no longer just a victim. She was an expert who saved others. Robert Chen's case seemed familiar to Jessica. The same organization type pattern. Mr. Chen, do you have any idea who might have kidnapped your wife? No. But only a few close friends knew we won the lottery. Jessica began investigating. Even though Vincent Morrison was in prison, other branches of his network were still active. Working with Agent Chen, they rescued Robert's wife. Jessica, you're not just a consultant anymore, said Agent Chen. You work like a field agent. Maybe you should consider joining the FBI. Jessica considered the offer. But she wanted to look after her family. No, Sarah. My place is here, helping people. When Jessica's story caused a big stir in the media, she began appearing on television programs. She gave an interview on Good Morning America. Jessica, what would you say about your experience after winning the lottery? The lottery isn't just money. It's also a big responsibility. And unfortunately, it can bring great danger too. What advice do you give people? Be careful when you achieve big winnings. Work with trustworthy people. And remember, money can buy happiness but it can't buy security. Jessica's media appearances caught Vincent's attention. Even though he was in prison, he sent Jessica a message using his outside connections. Jessica Miller. I saw you on television. You've become very famous. But don't forget, we still have unfinished business between us. When Jessica received the message, she alerted the FBI. Even though Vincent is in prison, he can communicate with the outside, she told Agent Chen. Jessica, we're investigating Vincent's prison connections. But you be careful too. Indeed, Vincent was giving orders to the outside through other inmates. Vincent's final plan was much more personal. He targeted Jessica's family. One day, while Jessica was at home playing with Tom and baby Emma, shots were fired through the window. Get down! Tom shouted. Jessica escaped to the kitchen protecting Emma. Tom followed them. I'm calling the FBI, Jessica said. But the attackers had fled. They'd only left a note, greetings from Vincent. You might not be so lucky next time. After this attack, Agent Chen made Jessica an official offer. Jessica, would you like to work as an FBI consultant? You could specialize in lottery and financial crimes. Jessica thought. Her family was in danger. But the only way to solve this situation was to completely end Vincent's organization. I accept. But Tom and Emma's safety must be guaranteed. Of course. Jessica became an FBI consultant. Special mission, solve Vincent Morrison's prison network. Jessica's plan was bold. She would go undercover into the prison to solve Vincent's network from the inside. "This is very dangerous," Tom said. "I know. But I have to do this to stop Vincent." Jessica started working as a prison psychologist under a fake identity. When she first met Vincent, Vincent recognized her. "Dr. Jennifer Walsh. Our new psychologist. But you look a lot like Jessica Miller." Jessica acted innocent. "Sorry, I don't know her." "Of course you don't," Vincent said, smiling. For 3 weeks, Jessica mapped Vincent's prison network. Vincent was giving orders to the outside through 12 inmates. These inmates were also committing crimes through their own family members and friends. The system was very sophisticated. Vincent never gave direct orders, he used coded messages. Jessica reported everything about the system to the FBI. "We need a coordinated operation to solve this network," she told Agent Chen. "We have to catch both the members inside the prison and outside at the same time." The FBI planned a major operation based on Jessica's information. Simultaneously, 12 inmates in prison would be put in isolation. 50 outside connections would be arrested. Vincent would be completely isolated. On Operation Day, Jessica spoke with Vincent one last time at the prison. "Vincent, the game is over." Vincent was surprised. You really are Jessica Miller." "Yes. And I solved your network." Vincent angrily stood up, but FBI agents restrained him. "This isn't over, Jessica. You can stop me, but there are others." After Vincent's network was solved, Jessica tasted real freedom. 2 years later, Vincent died. It was announced that he died naturally in prison. Jessica was now safe. She quit FBI consulting and focused on her family. Together with Tom, she founded a charity called Second Chance Foundation. They helped crime victims. Jessica's $500 million had now become a blessing instead of a curse. She had donated 70% of the money to charity. 20% was in safe investments. With 10% she lived happily with her family. "Money can't buy happiness," she would tell people. "But it gives you the opportunity to do good." 5 years later, Jessica, Tom, Emma, and their newborn son David had become a happy family. Jessica had framed that old lottery ticket and hung it on her wall. "What did this ticket teach us?" Tom asked. "Money itself isn't a curse," Jessica said. "The curse is the bad choices you make for money. And the most important thing I learned, true wealth is being safe with your loved ones." Emma, now 5, looked at her mother. "Mom, did you really beat the bad guys?" Jessica hugged her daughter. "Yes, honey. But the most important victory is managing to stay a good person." That night, Jessica wrote the final lines in her diary, "The lottery ticket changed my life. But it also changed me. Now I'm stronger, smarter, and most importantly, more compassionate. What we called a curse was actually a teacher. And I learned my lesson." Looking out the window, she smiled. The Colorado mountains were shining golden in the sunset. The lottery winner's curse had ended. Only love, family, and peace remained. And this was true wealth that no money could buy.